Happy Election Day! I'm Mary Walter. Welcome to Mary Walter Radio, the podcast. It is so great to have you here. Thank you for joining me. Is the camera okay? My husband used this before me and he always puts it up too high. I'm all ready. See my shirt? I'm a Trump girl. Get over it. I got my Trump leggings on. See, Trump. I got my Trump leggings on. I am all ready. Going to an election party after this, so we're going to keep this to 1 hour, even though one of my favorite guests is with us tonight, and I will introduce her in 2 quick seconds. If you've not done so, please like the podcast and please subscribe if you can. We would appreciate that. And also, if you watch any of the podcasts, past podcasts, please sign up. Please, subscribe. That would be fantastic. And you can also get the audio on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. I swear, there's always a problem every night. It's the weirdest thing. I think I'm buying a new computer. It's ridiculous. My husband said to me, "I have problems with this computer because you're cheap and this computer's as old as you are." So thank you, hubby. Love you. All right, without further ado, here she is, one of my faves. Christine Flowers is with us. Hello, honey. How are you?
Hey, sweetheart. I love that little commentary about your husband. It kind of, right before I came on, I was reading an article from one of our local magazine writers about how a wife was lying to her husband about who she was going to be voting for because she said, "I just can't deal with the agita and the divorce. The husband is a Trump supporter. She is obviously not, I mean, she's not a Kamala supporter, but she can't vote for Trump." So she's anonymous in this article, and she's like, "I just can't deal with it, and I can't deal with his family, and I'm just gonna lie and tell them that I'm voting for somebody else." I'm like, the angst of the loving couples.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would never do that. But see, now I'm trying to, because this whole thing rebooted and and so I'm trying to get onto YouTube so I can thank the people who subscribed over the past 2 weeks because we didn't do one last week because I don't know if you can see here. Can you see my bruise here? I don't know if you can see. I had oral
Oh,
surgery.
you have a boo boo. What happened?
Oh, I had oral surgery a week ago today. It was much bigger. It was much bigger. And so I've been ice packing and salt water and the whole bit anyway. So it was a big deal. And so there was no there. It's a good thing there was
Are
no
you okay?
podcast.
Are you all right?
Yeah, this is the second one, and hopefully, and it was not dental. It's the weirdest thing. It was up here. It was up here. It was like up
Mm.
here.
Oh
They
my
had to
God.
go up and in, like into your
Like
sinus,
in
into
your
the
sinus.
bone.
Yeah. Oh my
Well,
God.
because there was an infection, but I didn't have any pain, and it actually ate a hole through the bone.
My God.
And yeah, it was crazy. It was just absolutely crazy. And I'm like, but I don't have any pain. How is this happening? But my face was all swollen front because it was all infected. Oh, what a mess. Anyway, we're done with that. We only have an hour, so we're going to hop to it. So let's see who's here. Scott says seems like a long time waiting for tonight. Yes, it does. It's been a while.
I agree.
She says you aren't. Porchview Farm is here. You aren't kidding. Bill Hayes says I love the flower girl.
Hi, Bill.
Herman Sal, Mary with Christine. This will be a fine podcast tonight. And then he says hello to me. Watching your back is here. Uh, Mary's a fashion queen, looking great, Mary. You know what? I did not invest in Trump 47 leggings just yet. I decided to break out the ones from from 45 when it 45 because I just wanted to make sure.
Well, it's also, I mean, I'm Italian and Irish, and it's bad karma to do that. I think you're quite wise in just sort of, stepping back, using what you have. You don't want
Yes.
to jinx it.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Let's see. Scott, I just lowered the chat box. I can see the like button. Never thought of that before. If you go onto YouTube, Scott, if you go onto YouTube, if that's where you're watching, it should say along the bottom, it should say, like the podcast. Just click a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. Oh, and I would like to say hello to Zach, who's our biggest fan, and to Evie, who did that wonderful ad block with the lovely Christine Flowers for election night. So he did that. By the way, you look fantastic, young lady. You look good.
Oh, honey, thank you for saying that. I put this hair up like this. I was rushing because I voted. I mean, I wasn't able to do it this morning. So I ran to the polls to vote because, I am in the Keystone State. And I was in this room 3 minutes before we went on air. And like my hair, I looked like Chaka Khan. So I had to put it because it's very humid outside. So I
Why
had to put
didn't you vote? Why didn't you vote early? Why? Why? Why?
well, okay. I am the kind of person who really loves election day. It's like
So do I.
it's a sacred right for me. So I
I get
always
it.
vote in person on election day, and I'm always able to do it in the morning without a problem. But this morning I had to be in court. And I figured that I would be able to manage it fairly well, but then I got held at the office later, but all
Mhm.
done, did my job, as the liberal women say. I completed the assignment. I
Oh,
understood
yes,
the
yes.
assignment.
Good for you. You voted for women's rights. See, like my shirt. See?
Absolutely.
Voting for
I
women's
voted.
rights.
Absolutely. I voted for intelligent women and their rights.
That's right.
Women who can speak and their rights. That's what I voted for.
Absolutely. I also want to just quickly tell you, I'll tell you now, and I'll also tell you at the end of the podcast. So we always go to an election party. That's why this is only 1 hour because the party starts at 7. And my husband just brought the mac and cheese over, and he brought over the dozens and dozens of cookies that I made all day yesterday. And so they've already started. So
Look
we're
at
doing
you.
this, and then I'm heading over there.
Okay,
And so in 2016, he and I were the last two people left, and it was about 2 o'clock in the morning when I got out of bed until I finally understand that our hosts fell asleep. And so my husband and I are like, "What do you do?"
you're alone in their house.
So no. They were on. He was in the Barco lounger, like he was in his lounger, and she and I both had blankets, and we are laying like I'm laying this way on the couch, she's this way on the couch, and Doug and my husband was going back and forth because he's watching CNN in one room and Fox in another, so he was still bouncing all over the place. And we realized we're the only two people awake. So we wound up cleaning up and just letting ourselves out of their house.
You're such good. Yes, I love it. I love it. You
Cleaned
even did it
everything
right out of
up,
yourselves.
and we were out. So 2020, it went for, Christmas forever. We left. So this time around, he has to get up. He's on calls at 4:30 in the morning, and he's on the phone at night. So he's gonna have a rough night. So he's like, I'm not staying. I'm like, fine, I can walk the half a block by my I'm sure I'll be fine. 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay up. And now I just got booked to be on Newsmax at 6:30 tomorrow morning.
Oh
So I'll
my
be on
God.
Newsmax wearing this. I will literally be in the same outfit. I'm telling you right now. I'm wearing the same shirt tomorrow on Newsmax. So 6:30 tomorrow morning, I'm
I
going to be on
wish
Newsmax.
I wish I could see this. I'm going to be on a train to Newark, New Jersey tomorrow morning because I have to go to court, which I don't want to do, but maybe I could get it on my phone. I could probably download the app. I'm sure I could get it on my phone. All right. Anyway, you go, girl. Mayor, by the way, I don't know. Can you hear your voice is your voice is a little coming in and out on the sound. Can you hear it?
That's what they're telling me. I was just going to say, I'm going to punch out so you can talk to the listeners, find out what everybody's doing, and I'll be back. Goodbye.
Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. Well, first of all, I love being back here. I love Mary. We all love Mary, of course. And I'm coming to you from the battleground state of Pennsylvania. Just to make you guys feel a little bit better, um, there appears to have been smaller lines in Center City, Philadelphia, which is a very, very blue area. So I don't know if it's because I arrived later, but I have been hearing that there has been a lower turnout in the city of Philadelphia. My office is in South Philadelphia, and I wish I could share with you the pictures that I took today because there were Trump Vance signs and anti-Kamala signs all over the place in South Philly, which was a traditionally kind of blue dog Democrat area, and now has become, at least where I work, quite conservative. So there was a lot of Trump love going around there. And I don't know if you guys have seen what was going on in Bucks County, which is one of our collar counties outside of Philly. There were some problems with people getting kicked out of line who were trying to vote, trying to get early ballots, blah, blah, blah. But it does seem to have settled down. And again, knock wood, I'm optimistic. I think that I don't honestly think we are going to have the results this evening, simply because my beloved state does not open mail-in ballots until the polls close. So it's going to take them a while to figure out what's coming in. But I do think, judging from the people that I have spoken to, people who did not vote for Trump in 2016, people who voted for Biden in 2020, kind of against their better judgment, and they're not voting for Kamala this time around. I was just telling your viewers that as Sean Hannity says, let not your hearts be troubled, because I do think that, at least in my little corner of Pennsylvania, things are falling into place fairly well. There were not long lines in the very blue area where I live. It was a fairly, fairly manageable lines. And I guess maybe because it was later. But I was telling everybody that down in South Philly, where I work, which is, South Philly is still a Democrat, but there were all of these signs: Democrats for Trump, Trump Vance, fire Kamala. Not that she's been hired for any reason, but it has there was a good feeling about it today. So we'll see.
All right. Is my audio back? Is it okay?
You're fabulous. There you go.
Yay. Okay. Okay. I'm back. It happens I need a new computer. I just have to spring for one. All right. The question I want to ask people, so I'm glad to hear that things are going well in your corner of Philadelphia, but I want to ask the viewers, so with turnout being so high, with so many people voting early, we did it. I'm with you. I love the tradition of election day. It's great. But when my husband went to vote in 22, I live in a town with 3,500 people. So we have two precincts. We both go in, we vote in the auditorium at the Catholic Church. The left side is District 1, the right side is District 2. And out of that 3,500 people, there are people who aren't old enough to vote. So there's not a lot of people voting.
Yeah.
But in 22, he was like number 1 or number 2. He's always there super early when they open, and they weren't ready, and they didn't have their act together, and they were having problems. So we decided in our little town, we decided to vote early because they never have a problem early with voting machines.
Yeah.
There's never a problem early. And we went to a deep blue. We have, the way New Jersey does it is you get a mailer, and in your county has like 7, 8, polling places where you can go, and you can go to any of them in the county. So we chose, there were 2 near us, and one is in a very red district and one's a very blue district. So we went to the very blue district because they never have problems with those machines, right?
Yeah.
Like there's always work. So we went there. So right there, click right there. So that's where we went, and I tracked my vote and I counted. So I was good. I had voted as of last week. I'm all good.
Good girl. Good girl. No, and to be honest, if I had gotten myself organized, I make this big deal about the sanctity of the voting day. It really is just because I'm disorganized and too lazy to figure out how to vote early. But I do like the whole idea of going on the first Tuesday in November.
Yeah.
I do, I didn't mention one thing while you were gone. We had a little bit of a dust up this morning because James O'Keefe had come to one of the districts. Did you see that up in North
Yes,
Philly?
tell everybody about it. Go ahead, tell everybody about it.
All right, so James O'Keefe, he's fabulous. He was with Project Veritas before they did him bad. Anyway, he came to Philly, and he was filming in a district that is very densely Latino. So it was presumably Puerto Rican, North Philadelphia. It's an area that has traditionally been very Latino and obviously very Democratic. Now, there were people across the street from where the city commissioner's office was who were handing out flyers. And these flyers were in Spanish, and they were I don't know if your audience, I'm sure they do, knows what an ITIN number is, ITIN. It is.
Oh, yes, your tax number.
Exactly. It is a tax number, but it is a number that you can only get if you cannot qualify for a social security number. Now, every citizen of the United States can get a social security number. Not everyone who has a social security number is a US citizen. You can have legal residents, legal green card holders, students. You can get social security numbers. But if you can't get a social security number, that means you are not legally in the United States, or you're not a citizen. So working backwards, essentially what this flyer was saying to people was, you can use your ITIN number as ID to go and vote, which is basically saying people who are not citizens can try and vote. Now, it seems as if this was that the people who were sending these flyers had nothing to do with the city commissioners, because the city commissioners were when O'Keefe interviewed this one guy out, he's hanging outside of the door, and he says, I don't know, you got to talk to the head honcho here. You would think that he would have been informed. It's election day, but it put off an appearance of Mal, what's the word I'm looking for?
Shenanigans, hijinks, fraud,
voter fraud, and I was in touch with one of the commissioners, and they did resolve that. And it has been established that no one with an ITIN number was able to vote at that particular voting place. But it's very dangerous when you have people there who are handing out these materials. They're allowed to hand out these materials. They were outside of 30, they were 30 feet. They were across the street. They weren't in front. But you've got people who are naive about this. They can go, they're being told they can vote. Motor voter laws caused a lot of problems, because when somebody went in to sign up to get their driver's license, they used to be asked, oh, you also want to register to vote? And if the government is telling you you can do this, why do you think that you can't do it? So I don't blame the poor people who are getting the bad information. I blame the bad actors who are doing this. And who's doing this? Not the GOP. Not in Philadelphia,
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing, Christine. There is a guy who served 4 months because during the 2016 election, he put out a meme on social media, on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, saying, don't forget, Hillary supporters, voting starts Wednesday, that. And because that was considered election interference.
Yeah, exactly.
He did 4 months. Because of that. This guy had to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on lawyers, but yet whoever printed this up, it's okay.
Yeah, well, we've got it. There are people who are going to be investigating this. In fact, I want to talk to, there's this great investigative journalist at Broad and Liberty, which is a great website, Todd Shepard. And I want to refer this to him and see if he can sort of delve into it. You would think with all of the attention that is focused on Pennsylvania, that it would be as clean as a whistle, that there would be absolutely no problems whatsoever, because they do not want to give the Republicans or Donald Trump, the GOP, the ability to point fingers. And they've just opened this up, what they did in Bucks County, kicking people out of line.
Well, Hermit Sal asked about that. He wants to know, why were people kicked out of line in Bucks County? They've done it more than once. They keep doing it.
And I agree, Hermit Sal. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, whatever. Anyway, I'm sounding like George Bush. I'm sounding like W right now. But the point being that they have not given a good reason as to why this was happening. And Donald Trump and Vance, they had to go to court to get this, to extend the voting time, to allow these poor people to remain in line.
Yep.
Some of them had been there for 4 and 5 hours waiting in line. So I mean, I think it's arrogance. I think Bucks County, first of all, they're pissed off that Scott Pressler was so effective in
Yes.
flipping the county and getting it. Now it is majority red registration, majority GOP. Doesn't necessarily mean that all of those who registered are going to vote for the GOP. But I mean, I think if you haven't registered before and you are registering for a particular party, it stands to reason that you're going to vote for that party. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that all of those new Republican registrations are going to, translate into Republican votes or votes for Trump.
Right.
So, you've got Bucks County there, and they're very nervous about Bucks County because Bucks County is the most volatile of the counties in this most volatile of swing states. My old county, Delaware County, it used to be reliably GOP when I was growing up there in the 70s and 80s. And now it is completely blue, and they've taken
Right.
over everything. And I mean, there's no way that Delaware County is going to go for Trump, but Bucks could, and Bucks is huge. Montco, probably not either. Montco's probably going to stay blue, trending purple. I will say, Mary, the secret weapon is the Jewish vote. There
Yes.
is a large concentration of Jewish voters in Montgomery County, in Philadelphia, in Chester County, Bucks County, some in Delco as well. And I can tell you that they're angry. Just as we talk
Yeah.
about the whole vote of the Muslim vote in Dearborn and, the Blue Wall Midwest, the Jewish voters in southeastern
Yeah.
PA are outraged at what they see as a lack of concern bordering on and flowing over into anti-Semitism among the Democrats. And I know people, they have said to me they will not say who they're voting for. They will not admit it in public. But these are my Jewish friends who are voting for Trump.
Yeah. I just want to get to some things here. So far, they're calling Kentucky and Indiana for Trump. He's got 23 electoral votes. They're calling, who did they just call for? They're calling West Virginia for Trump.
Really?
20. Yeah, they have a red mark there, but they have 0% in. So I'm not quite sure how that happens. You got to wait. It goes in order of which they've closed, who's got the most. So I'm in the states where there's like 0% back. So there's nothing there. One thing, social media is erupting because Jill Biden, Dr. Jill, did you see what she wore to go vote?
I loved it. I mean,
She wore a beautiful red suit with a white top.
I have to take back all the mean things I said about her wardrobe in the past. I've said, she's wearing couches and percale sheets, and because she always used to go in for those big flowery prints.
Right.
And now
she looked at my grandma's couch.
Exactly. She looked stunning today. And I mean, just separate and apart from the political subtext, she looked stunning. She looked beautiful. And then it is blood red.
Red.
I mean, can
exactly.
you send a stronger message?
And Biden is not going to be at Harris's campaign headquarters. He's watching from the White House. I bet you they did not vote for her. I don't think they did.
I bet you they didn't either. They either wrote someone in. I know I'm sure they didn't vote for Trump unless they really wanted to screw her over. Well, I agree. They did not vote for her.
What do you think but with that red suit, come on, did she not send a message with that? Holy, it is, like you said, blood red. It is a red suit with a white top, and she cannot stand Kamala Harris. She hates Kamala Harris.
Join the club, Jill.
Yeah, well, you lay down with dogs, you sometimes wake up with fleas. So there you go.
She has. You're
It's,
absolutely right, and she's been particularly silent since Joe stepped back in terms of her enthusiasm for, Kamala's had to enlist Michelle. I'm getting so sick and tired of seeing Michelle Obama. Somebody called her, one of my friends who is a liberal on social media, called her the forever first lady. Well, she referenced the forever first lady, and I said, who is the forever first lady? I mean, who? And she said, well, Michelle. I said, you've got to be kidding me. You must be kidding me. Anyway, yeah. So, and she's got Oprah and she's got Hollywood. But if you notice, Mayor, she doesn't have a lot of political support. She has a lot of the shallow, the Taylor Swift and the the Robert
yeah.
De Niro's and the Hollywood hype, the Julia Roberts, but she doesn't have a lot of outspoken Democratic women. I haven't seen AOC out there screaming
Nope.
about Kamala, which I find very, very interesting.
That's a great point.
I would have thought that she would have been out there every single day. She hasn't.
Yeah.
She was the last time I saw her was when she was upset about the Puerto Rican joke by that Tony Hinchcliffe. But she really hasn't been out there.
She has
Who
not.
else? Ayanna Pressley has, but
She did not
Rashida
mention,
Tlaib hasn't.
but Ayanna Pressley was out there, but did not mention Kamala Harris.
Really?
I don't think she did, because I was watching it on TV and they said she notably she didn't endorse Harris. She's walking that line because of the Never Biden campaign among the Muslims that became the Never
Yes,
Harris campaign among the Muslims. So she's got that problem. I
that's
just want to
actually
get to
true.
a couple of comments. Porchview Farm said she voted today. She was in the hospital last week. I hope you're okay. I hope everything's all right. I mean, you're out now, so that's good. So I
Oh
hope
my
you're okay.
goodness.
Yeah. She
Tell
said,
us how you're feeling.
I tried to tell people in 1994 a motor voter is a bad problem. It is.
Horrible.
Um, yeah.
And you know
Herman
why it's
Saus,
horrible too? Because it hurts innocent people. Because if you're an immigrant and you vote because you think you can, because the
right.
government has told you that you can, you are forever barred. If you are a lawful permanent resident and you vote in a federal election, you can be deported and barred. So, I have a personal investment in this. Everybody says, oh, these immigrants are illegally voting because they want. The vast majority of them are not. The vast majority have been misinformed by,
Yeah.
Unscrupulous political activists.
Right, right. Yeah, they've been used. Herman Sal, I fear that Democrat-controlled areas will remember what Stalin said. Those who count the vote, decides who wins. That's the guy who's got the power. See who counts the votes. Porch Farm said we're like 98% Trump in West Virginia, so that's probably why they called it for him.
Okay.
It's a
Yay.
problem, yeah. Let's see. A Star Driver once says Biden's already in bed. Well, he was going to be there with. They keep saying he's watching it with his aides, and I'm like, does that mean his visiting angel is staying with him? That's who he's watching it with, and they've got some cookies and a glass of milk. Is that what's happening?
Oh my God.
Jim Justice is projected to win in West Virginia. Interesting. Cardi B would have made a better choice for the Democrats. At least Cardi B answers questions, explains herself, and makes sense, but in a unique way. Yes, she
Well,
does.
she can't, but yeah, she only does it when there's the teleprompter that's working now. Cardi
That's
B is like,
so. What's the difference between that and Kamala Harris?
exactly. And Cardi's
Same thing.
a little bit more colorful.
Yeah. So Politico is telling us that the embassies around the world are not having their traditional watch parties today.
Are they afraid of
Yeah.
something?
They said most European power centers have ditched the usual festivities. They've decided against holding their usual watch parties. They said it's because of the Trump effect. Many officials are still smarting from the shock of the 2016 election. A senior diplomat based in Europe has said, I don't think there was an appetite to watch another Trump victory.
Wow. Do you know, my building, my condo sent around a little email today saying, we care about your safety. We've put measures into place tonight so that you've like, what do you mean? My safety? What are we worried about? This is, I feel like I'm in an armed camp over here. That if Donald Trump wins, what? There's going to be people are going to be storming the castle with flaming torches. It's very weird. It's just a little
I
off.
think they're afraid, honestly, of Antifa. I think the Democrats were going to come out and do what the Democrats do, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a good sign if they're worried, because that means that they must be seeing something in the tea leaves that leads them to believe that they're not going to run away with this if it's done legitimately and fairly, and
Yeah.
the appropriate processes are respected.
I want to share something here. I want to play this for everybody. This makes a lot of sense to me, and maybe people would like to comment on this. I hope this audio works because I'm not having good luck today. Let's see how we do.
I'm not hearing anything, but I'm seeing
Oh, you're
Nicole
not?
Wallace.
Hold on, you're not hearing anything?
No.
Of course not.
I was
All right.
happy because I was seeing Nicole Wallace, the shrew of all shrews. So not hearing her was a gift.
Well, Doug, we opened everything in out of not in Chrome, so that's the problem. We opened everything in this, so don't worry about it. We're not doing that.
I can pull it up.
Don't whatever. Anyway, I can't with the technology. It's like every single podcast for like the last 3 or 4 of them have just been a sound nightmare, and I don't know what's wrong. Don't worry about it.
We just want to
Anyway.
hear you, Mary. So what we
Yeah,
heard
we'll
now,
just
what
listen
were
to
you
us.
saying?
What they did was they replaced the word democracy with bureaucracy, and then they say it all starts to make sense when you replace the word democracy with in everything that they say, replace it with the word bureaucracy,
Interesting.
and then it all starts to make sense. Our bureaucracy is in danger. Our bureaucracy, so that's
We
what
need to
they
preserve our
don't worry about
bureaucracy.
it. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they did. Doug, don't worry about it.
He's
I
a
don't know,
good
the
hubby.
IT department. I don't know what he's doing. The IT department's in here doing something.
Good
Let's see.
job.
Governor Hochul said she and all New York law enforcement. What's the rest of that, Herman Sal? Don't worry, Doug. Don't forget it. All right, let me see. What else do I have here? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Milwaukee. Just before 2 o'clock, an election observer noticed a panel on tabulators in Milwaukee's central count weren't properly closed. The panel that wasn't closed contains tabulators on and off switches. They were supposed to have been locked in the morning. After discovering the issue, Milwaukee election chief Gutierrez went from tabulator to tabulator with representatives from both parties to close and lock the panels. If it would have been tampered with, it would completely turn off, and that would be evident. The county GOP chair said, I don't think it was tampered with. I think it was just a mistake. So some of the tabulators have slots for USB drives, but the tabulators would pick up if anybody had inserted a USB drive onto them and exported anything. The observers said that they saw nothing awry. So that was going on there. Biden not attending Kamala's watch party. Jill Biden, she actually, I got to tell you, this picture, I even like her shoes. She looks great. I was
She
actually
looks
surprised.
stunning. I mean, she is a very attractive woman. If you've seen pictures of her as a young woman when she was a model, I mean, she was like a Sears catalog model. She wasn't a catwalk model. She wasn't a Melania Trump
Right.
model, but she was a model, and she's a beautiful woman. But she just looked so frumpy when she was the first lady for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But she looked fabulous. I think that was her message, her big, middle finger to all of the people, not just Kamala, but to Obama, to David Axelrod, to James Carville, to all of the people who essentially stabbed Biden in the back. And she's nothing if not loyal to her husband.
Yeah. Now she should be happy though, because that she got a sweet deal that the Biden crime family gets to keep all of their ill-gotten gains, right? And
Oh, yeah.
they're all going to be pardoned. That was all worked out. The Obamas and the Bidens were supposedly close, and I know but then when Hunter Biden divorced Kathleen, his first wife, she was
Yes.
very good friends with Michelle Obama. So
Mm.
there's very bad blood between Michelle Obama and the Bidens because she was on his ex-wife's side and she didn't like what they did to her, to Kathleen. Kathleen Buell, I think her name was.
That's right.
Right. So that was the rift in the Obama-Biden relationship, was the way that they treated Hunter's ex-wife.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's bad
interesting.
blood there. And Jill Biden does not like Kamala Harris, as we all know, because she painted her husband as a racist.
Right.
And he was forced to take her. I don't think he chose her at all. He was forced to take her. And
Of
then when
course.
you add it all up, he has not spoken to his good friend Nancy Pelosi since the coup. They have not spoken to each other. So the Bidens have been iced out. But you know what? You live by the sword, you die by the sword. They're going to walk away with their millions of dollars in ill-gotten gains, and they're going to just have to pry her fingers off the drapes in the Oval Office to get her out of there.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Nancy Pelosi too, because she I've only seen her once or twice once or twice in the last couple of months actually come out. She had that famous whatever, I don't know if it was on Face the Nation or when she was on MSNBC or wherever she was when she was being interviewed, and she basically poo-pooed the idea of a rift with Biden, but at the same time making it very clear she knew that we knew that she knew that we knew that he was really, really angry at her. But she has not come out really in support of Kamala. Again, another iconic Democratic female. I mean, when you think of Democratic females, who do you think of? You think of Michelle Obama, who was never elected to anything in her life. You think Nancy Pelosi. You think AOC from her generation.
Right.
You would have thought Dianne Feinstein, maybe. But all of the really strong voiced women, they're not out there. Not the politicians, not the political women. They're not out there supporting Kamala. She has very few of her fellow travelers standing beside her. And I just
Right.
think, I mean, I don't know if that's because she's just a hateful person who has lost 99% of all of the people and staff who ever worked for her because she's just a horrible bully, or because they're afraid to hitch their wagon to her if they think that she might really lose, and they don't want to incur the wrath of the guy who wins. Not the
She
guy who's
is, by the way, Reuters is calling the Senate race in West Virginia for Jim Justice.
good.
They're
Call it for
calling it. So
Pennsylvania. Call it for Dave McCormick for Pennsylvania. Please, please, please.
they have not called the governor's race yet in West Virginia. So that's, we were wondering what was going on there. Um, so we're just talking about, so Kamala Harris, there was a piece that was written by a father of a young man who interned in Kamala Harris's office when she was the attorney general. And she never spoke to him. And it was just, they had like, fewer than 20 people in the office. You would think this kid's a kid, he's interning, he wants to learn stuff. You think he never got to speak with her. She never acknowledged his presence. And when she came in the morning, everyone had to stand up and say, "Good morning, General."
It's just, I mean, I believe it because she gives off that vibe. I had no idea that she was so disliked by the people who worked with her. She gives off a very I just don't know, a very patronizing, a very false, a very inauthentic kind of vibe. But I didn't realize that people disliked her as much as they do. And all of this, the people who do like her are the people who don't know her. All of the
Right.
people, George Clooney doesn't know who the heck she is. Julia Roberts never met the woman except at whatever, a fundraiser. None of these people, Oprah gloms on to whichever flavor of the month. She was in love with Meghan Markle. She feels like
Right.
she's the kingmaker for Obama, which, believe me, I don't think she had that much of an impact on Obama getting elected in 2008. Was it? I'm sorry. I'm not afraid of Kamala Harris. I'm nauseated by Kamala Harris. And to think that this woman would be possibly the first female president of the United States, it embarrasses me on the international stage. You know, Indira Gandhi, India has Indira Gandhi, Israel had Golda Meir, Great Britain had Margaret Thatcher, Germany had Angela Merkel, and we have this. This is embarrassing as a woman, as a lawyer. It just, I will be very upset from a personal perspective if she's elected.
I'm not afraid of her. I'm afraid of who's running the country. She's a figurehead. She's an empty vessel.
True.
So I'm afraid of whoever is running the country. They called Vermont for Kamala Harris.
Shocker.
Harris is also so far right now, and again, only 8%. Like these are very less than 10% of votes counted in some of these other states. Right now, she is in the lead in Ohio with 15% of the votes counted, in Virginia with 21%, North Carolina with 3%. So we got a long way to go. Okay, South Carolina, Trump is up with 11% counted. Georgia, we have Trump ahead with 25% counted.
Wow.
Florida, Trump's ahead with 5% counted. So those are the states that have started reporting so far.
Yeah. I mean, we really have to see what are the counties that they're seeing, you know, in Fulton County in Georgia and Gwinnett County in Georgia. You have to, you know, those are the ones that are really going to determine, because it has a high minority population. Pennsylvania, obviously, it's Pennsylvania is going to be red between Pittsburgh and Philly, and then we have to see what happens in Philly. I'm truly hoping that that Trump was able to cut in to Kamala's margins in southeastern Pennsylvania. She's going to win Philadelphia. She's going to win most of the collar counties. But if he can eat away at Biden's margins that he had, and you know, you pick up the rest, the middle of the state, then he wins Pennsylvania, and that's a huge gap.
As of now, only 1% of expected votes have been counted in Gwinnett County, and Kamala Harris is winning. It's only 1%. So
okay, all right.
Fulton County, 0% of the votes have been counted. So,
and they've called Kamala. They've said Kamala's leading with 0, right?
With 0, I'm sure. Yes. After 110% of the votes have been counted, they decided that Kamala's leading
and recounted.
So Google, did you hear about this? Google was having some problems today. When you search, where can I vote for Harris? They showed a map and it said, where can I vote for Trump? No map showed.
Wow.
But
are you kidding me?
It's just a glitch. It's because glitch, the term glitch to me is code for we got caught rigging it for Democrats, because there are never glitches that go the other way. Ever are there glitches going the other way.
Bucks County. That's when you were talking about Wisconsin and the problem with the grid. That's what they said in Bucks County when they were kicking people out of line. They said it was a mistake. It was a miscommunication.
It was a mistake. These people, the Democrats, are either the most complicit or the most incompetent people ever. They want us to believe they're the most incompetent. So I'm like, well, if you're incompetent, why should I vote for you? Like, if you're incompetent, then why should I vote for you?
Yeah, either way, they lose. I mean, they try and win, but they lose. Yeah, it's but I hate when people say, oh, my bad. Sorry.
Well, sorry, don't worry about it. Yeah, but that poor guy who made a joke about Clinton people voting the next day had to go to jail for 4 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Watching your back says
not democracy.
Trump flipped Duval County in Georgia. Did he? Because let me see. Let me go to my handy dandy little map here. Let's see. Where is Duval County? Where is it? I got to know what's it near. Anybody? What's Duval County near? Somebody tell me.
I don't know, Georgia.
There's not much that's been counted so far. I don't know where DeKalb County is. So unless somebody could tell me where to look in Georgia, I can't check. Sorry. Watching your back. But they've only got like one. I think the most they have counted in Georgia is like 0%, 2%, 1%. I don't think he flipped anything. If those are the numbers are that small. So I don't know where that county is. Hermit Sal says Biden was basically overthrown the way a military junta or communist revolution would depose a legally elected official. Yes.
Absolutely. I've seen it with I you guys know I do immigration law. I have a bunch of people who came from Venezuela. I have a bunch of people who've come from Pakistan, Afghanistan. This is the playbook. And
Yep.
for them to have said, first of all, there wasn't a contested primary. For them to, she said, "Oh, I fought for this nomination," and no, she didn't. It was handed to her on a
Exactly.
silver platter. So it's very troubling. If she gets in, this will be the accidental president. This will be the woman who never should have been picked as vice president. And she was picked because it was shoved down Joe Biden's throat, because there was that perception that we needed a black woman. We needed a woman of color. There she is. She's got her pearls on. She's all ready to go. Let's get her. Picked her. Absolutely no resume. I'm sick and tired of being told that she was a prosecutor and she prosecuted international drug cartels. That's not the role of a state's attorney general. That is federal prosecution. I don't know where they're getting the idea that she prosecuted intra-country drug cartels. This is just, I mean, they're making this stuff up. And then, she becomes vice president, and then they literally, like you said, they stab him in the back. It was like what Pinochet did to Salvador Allende in Chile in 1973. And here we have Kamala Harris is now running for the president, the office. Mayor, where'd you go? Mary. Okay, guys, I'll just tap dance. Maybe I can sing. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber. Mary, get over here. I'm singing. Waves of grain for purple mountains. I'm singing.
How are you? Okay. The whole connection went down. Everything went down. StreamYard totally went down. That's StreamYard. That's not my fault. Everything went down. It was gone. It was just gone. So I'm like, where did it go? So that's not me. That was not me. For once, it was not me. But thank you for singing. What is it? Her?
Blame it on Grace.
I'm gonna blame it on Grace. She jumped up.
Hi, Gracie.
You.
Hi.
Was that you? That was her.
Her.
Okay. I've got some more news. Let's see. Anna Paulina Luna wins in Florida.
Woo! Yeah.
And we have the High Valley. What is this? I don't know what that is. 20 everything. I'm looking for more here. The U.S. Republicans are challenging 500 overseas ballots in Pennsylvania.
Yes. Finally, they got some balls.
Yes. Milwaukee just announced that absentee ballots will be recounted. California says they may now have to wait weeks for results.
Oh, God. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Why?
I don't know. Let me see here.
What the blank?
Let me see.
That's going to throw everything off.
Kentucky. Oh, Kentucky, Indiana to Trump, West Virginia. Number of bomb threats. Where is it?
Other than Vermont, what does Kamala have?
I know. Well, nothing right now. Andy Kim is being called as the senator for New Jersey. Not a surprise at all because he's a Democrat. That's not a surprise. I can't find the story. They sent me to the New York Times, and it doesn't give me the story about California. So you know how that goes. So I don't miss first thing. Yeah, they just keep adding stories, and then it goes down and down. It goes further and further and further down the page as they keep a continual running tab on the election. Yeah, Rick Scott being called for U.S. Senate in Florida.
Thank God.
They're calling Florida for Trump too. This is New York Times.
Yes.
Calling Tennessee for Trump as well, according to the New York Times.
All right.
Boy, this is it's coming in fast and but some of these, I mean, are there any surprises here, Christine? There aren't, right?
Well, Tennessee's not a surprise. I'll tell you, I was pretty sure that Florida would go for Trump, but I felt a little bit uneasy with. I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of Northeasterners who obviously moved down to Florida, and they brought their Northeastern liberal sensibilities, and
Yeah.
so that always
Yep.
worries me. Is there any news about Proposition? Was it Prop 4, the abortion referendum?
Listen, I could barely keep up with who's got how many. Okay. Right now, Trump at 105 electoral votes, as Kamala Harris at 72. So they're calling Maryland, Massachusetts, and Vermont for Kamala Harris, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Missouri, Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia for Trump. Which
All right.
no surprises there, right?
No, but Florida is
No.
the big prize. How many electoral votes does Florida have?
13?
Really? Only 13? How do we have more electoral votes than Florida?
I don't know. Hold on, I don't know. I'm bouncing all over the place here, so just give me a second. Wins Donald Trump 30 electoral votes from Florida, 11 from Tennessee, 30 from Florida.
Yeah, I thought Florida had a huge chunk, more than we did. You know, we only they stole one from us from Pennsylvania, so we only have 19 now. But
sorry.
I know. How many do New Jersey have? How many does New Jersey have?
I don't know how many. 14 electoral votes for New Jersey. Yeah.
Okay.
So Trump at Fox has Trump at 105 and Harris at 72.
Okay, well that's good. A good place now. Obviously, the Northeast hasn't been counted yet, so that's and California. Are they serious? California is not going to have their vote tallies in until a couple of weeks. That's not tenable. That's pushing us back to Bush v. Gore territory.
Let's see. Let me see if I can find it somewhere else.
They're having problems with their hanging chads.
Ballot glitches and vote count. Yeah, they say it may take a while. California's vote count will take days. This was yesterday.
Butterfly ballots and hanging chads.
It's all the Democrat states, and isn't that convenient? Well, you know, cheating does take time. You know, you got to figure, and it's math too. It involves math. They got to figure out how many votes they need. How can they get them in to make it look? I don't even think they care if it looks believable or not. They'll drop off 300 votes all for Kamala Harris, and they don't care.
This is outrageous that they are, you know, we've had 4 years now to perfect the voting, the election system. How the blank is California, you know, Silicon Valley, you know, all of the tech guys. How the blank is California unable to do their freaking job? That pisses me off, Mary, so much, because I agree with what you said.
Yeah.
They're getting time. They have 55 electoral votes. They are getting time to do some very, very nefarious things. And I don't care if people say that that's conspiracy theorizing, because it's so obvious that this is happening from, you know, one of the biggest states, one of the hugest chunks, and it's her home state. Surprise. And it's got Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Surprise. Come on.
And she wouldn't even tell when asked how she voted on, I think it was Prop 37, which would nullify the other proposition that said that you could steal up to $900 and all this other stuff and got rid of the police. She would not tell the reporter when asked how she voted on that. Oh, I'm not going to talk about that. Why won't she talk about that? Why won't she let us know how she feels about these issues? All right, they're calling now. This is now AP. I've got like 16 windows open here. AP calls Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Maryland for Kamala Harris. They have New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Virginia, and North Carolina trending blue. That's bad news for Trump. If North Carolina and Pennsylvania trend blue, that's not good news for Trump. They've got Georgia trending red for Trump. So that's good. They're calling Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Florida, Mississippi, and Alabama for Trump.
When they say trending blue, I mean, what are they basing this on? Are these the exit polls?
I don't know that. I'm just looking at their map. I'm just looking at their map.
I don't
Yeah,
know how we
like
can trend blue. Our polls just closed at 8 o'clock. How can
well,
we
like
trend in
Georgia, they've got
9 minutes?
Georgia has about 36% of the votes counted, with Trump at 56.8% and Harris at 42.7. So they've got that trending red because of that.
Yeah, but
Let me see.
our polls just
Hang
closed
on,
at 8 o'clock.
Pennsylvania. I got your state. It's all about you. Hold on. With 5% of the votes counted, Harris has almost 77% of the votes in Pennsylvania. So that's why they're trending Pennsylvania
I
blue.
see. Okay. All right. 5%.
You feel better?
I feel
All
much
right.
better.
All right. All right. It's all about Pennsylvania.
I know. Well, they counted
People
them all
from,
in
you
my
got to
name.
understand, if you don't know people from Pennsylvania, this is how they are, especially Philly people. It's all about them. They think Philadelphia is the greatest city in the world. And if you ever go to Philadelphia, it's an
No, I
overgrown
don't.
town.
No, 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 no,
It's
no,
not a
no.
city, it's an overgrown town. Like I'll drive in Philadelphia. I am not driving in New York because New York is a city. Philly, it's just a big town. I'm sorry.
I'm telling Zioli you said that. By the way, no. And we are not that thrilled with our city. We love it, but we recognize that it has a lot of flaws. So there.
Yes. They've got Kansas trending red, which again, I don't think that's a surprise, right?
No, that's not a surprise. No, I
No,
mean
I don't
a
think.
lot of these are what you would expect. That's why I don't like hearing that, you know, Pennsylvania and what was the other one? Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Who else is trending?
Hold on, let me
What are
get
they
the
saying
map
about
back up.
Ohio?
Ohio trending blue.
Blue?
Hmm.
Ohio?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
How much
You
of their
could.
vote is it?
How much of their vote is in? 34% of votes counted. Harris has 52% of the vote. Trump has 47.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. Porchview Farm says Clevelander here. We know Penn. No Pennsylvania.
Don't go blue, Cleveland, please.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, you want ballot reference? All right. House results,
Yeah.
Senate results. Let's look at those. We're almost out of time here. Okay, so far you've got 34 up. Republicans have 42 seats. Democrats. All right, so let's see. Indiana is red. They called Indiana, Tennessee, Florida, West Virginia. They think Justice. They've got Justice. That's a flip from that seat, right? They've
Right.
Justice that
It's
seat
Manchin
from
seat,
blue to
right?
red.
Is it
I'm sorry.
Manchin seat? It's Manchin seat, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So Justice took that. Yep. New York, not a surprise. Democrat won there. Massachusetts, they're calling that for the Democrats as well. And that's the Senate elections. The House, hold on, trying to get everything before we run out of time. House, okay. It's mostly Republican from what they've called so far. Nothing, no flips or anything along those lines. No flips, nothing that was unexpected.
Okay.
So
And in
the
the Senate,
House,
there's no flips except for the Manchin seat. So
right,
you
right,
expected you expected New York, you expected
right.
Massachusetts. So they didn't. It's not a net gain for the Democrats, but it is a net gain for the Republicans.
Right. Portrait Farm says, I doubt Ohio will be blue. From your mouth to God's ear. Because
Well,
if I say the prayer to St. Michael one more time, he's literally going to come down from heaven and slap me. So, Sal says Philly cheesesteak sandwiches are great. New York does not have New York City cheesesteak sandwiches. This is true. That's great. But
by the
you
way,
got to go to Philly.
now I know
What?
why St. Michael's not answering me. He's Bob. You're keeping him occupied. Like, no,
Yeah,
over here, Michael.
For the house, I'm making cookies yesterday, saying St. Michael prayer the whole time. It's like I've got to stop. It's too much. All right, what did you want to know about battle? Let's see.
Prop 4 in
Nothing.
Florida, the one about abortion, where they want to basically
Abortion
make
in
abortion a
Florida.
sacred right.
That's this Amendment 4 in Florida.
Yes.
Right now, it's up 57.5% so far have voted yes, with 78% of expected votes in.
Okay, well, that would be the most devastating thing. Second only to Kamala Harris winning. It would be devastating to see
but it's
Florida.
It provides a constitutional right to abortion before fetal viability or before fetal viability or when necessary to protect. So before fetal viability is like what, 28 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But but fetal viability is it changes. Obviously, fetal viability now, it has advanced to a much more advanced stage than it was when Roe was decided. But Prop 4, I mean, if you read it very clearly, Mary, it impinges upon the religious and the moral conscience rights of doctors. There are no exceptions for any kind of faith-based objection to providing abortion care, health care, abortion care. So it would be devastating if
Yeah.
that were. It really would be horrific.
Okay, I have some more because we got to get out of here. Kentucky citizenship requirement to vote requires U.S. citizenship to be able to vote. The state passed, and it also passed in North Carolina as well.
Good, good.
Ohio established the Citizens Redistricting Commission is tied. Oklahoma amendment citizenship requirement to vote provide in the state constitution that only a citizen rather than every citizen of the U.S. may vote. That passed with 84% of the votes. South Carolina's citizenship requirement to vote passed as well with 84% of the vote there. Let's see. Legalizing marijuana in Florida looks like it's going to pass. They got to do it on a federal level because they got to have the same laws. Massachusetts increased minimum wage for tipped employees. Looks like it is not going to pass, but it's a very low percentage of the votes are in, so you can't really call that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
and I agree with what you said about marijuana, because it doesn't matter what a state does, the Controlled Substances Act will still keep it illegal, and you will not be able to cross state lines. This is something that it's now a patchwork, and I don't think it should be legalized. But even if you do think it should be legalized, it should be consistent across the states. It's very dangerous to have this the way it is, and the Controlled Substances Act is not going to be overruled. I mean, that's been around for a long time. I can't see any Senate, particularly a Republican-controlled Senate, being willing to do that. So we'll see what happens.
So far in Pennsylvania right now, you have 7% of the districts have reported with Harris at 73% of the vote. So it's maybe just the cities. I don't know. We'll find out. So, all right, the South Carolina, they're calling for Trump. No surprises here so far, kids.
Any Michigan or Wisconsin?
No, but you know what's interesting? New Jersey, they called for Harris with 11% of the vote in. She's at 50.09%. Trump's at 48.6%. That in New Jersey, that's pretty darn close in New Jersey.
That's hugely close. So why are they calling it for her? I mean, how much of the vote is in?
11%. I don't know why. Fox called it probably because it's New Jersey. So if they don't have enough votes, they'll find them because it's like Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, this is what Fox is calling, but they did not put, I will say, they did not put those electoral votes in her column. Well, she's at 72, so maybe they did put them in there. She's at 72, he's at 105. I don't think they've allocated those electoral votes to her just yet. So.
And that would be 11 votes, 11 electoral votes. So she would
13.
Be 13. So like 85.
13.
Okay.
Yeah, for New Jersey. So, all right. All right, we are out of here, kids. I got to go to a party. And then I have to try to get like 2 hours of sleep. I will see you tomorrow morning, 6:30 in the morning on Newsmax TV. And
I'm getting the app so I could watch it on the train to Newark.
Oh, okay, thank you. And so that's tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, starting at midnight Wednesday night, I am on Sirius from midnight Wednesday night to 5 a.m. Thursday morning.
Woo!
So I'm basically up from now until Thursday morning at 5 a.m.
That's like what they did to people at Abu Ghraib.
Well, I work in radio. It's pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And they probably, and they at least got free food. I don't.
They
Get
do let you
back.
sit. You don't stand, right?
That's true. I am allowed to sit. That is very, very true. Thank you to Katie and Marion, some new subscribers. I did manage to get that, brought that up. So thank you so much for that. Christine, thank you for being with me. I really appreciate it. I know I love when you come on. You're fantastic. So thank you for
Well,
being fantastic.
I love you, and I love your viewers and lovely listeners. And get some sleep, have fun at your party, and
Thank you. Thank
pray,
you.
pray. And can
That's
you leave
right.
Saint Michael to me for a couple of hours,
Okay.
please?
Okay. You
Thank
can
you.
have him.
Thank
And
you.
Porch View, she said, good luck to all of us. Hermit Sal said, thank you. Great podcast. And thank you for reading his comments. And Scott said as well. And they all love having you on, Christine.
What?
Porch View, I hope you feel better. I hope everything is all
Yeah.
right. I hope you're
Feel
doing
better,
well.
sweetie. Feel
Yeah.
better.
Now, for the record, next Tuesday, I'm going to try to do a podcast, but I'm getting microneedled on Monday. So I'm probably going to have to wear some sunglasses, and I'm doing it on Monday because next Thursday is my shoulder surgery. So I'm having rotator cuff and a slot. There's like two tears running around in here that they have to fix. And it's my dominant arm, so I can't do my hair or makeup. And I've been practicing wiping my butt with my left hand all week.
Oh my God. Oh my God, you poor thing. I was
And brushing my teeth with my left hand.
I'm having toe surgery on November 19th, but nothing compared to what you're going through. I was complaining about my big toe, and you've got your face and your arm and your jaw and your whatever.
I've
Feel better.
I've had three foot surgeries, so call me. I'll tell you all about it. So I'll tell you all about it. You'll be fine. Invest in a really good pair of New Balance sneakers because that's what you're going to be walking in for the next 6 months.
Okay.
But anyway, so I don't know if I will be here the following Tuesday because I can't do my hair or makeup. I have no idea how much pain I'm going to be in. My brother, everybody who's had rotator cuff surgery told me like, forget it, you're done. You're done for.
Oh, God.
So we'll see what happens. So
Feel better, sweetie.
I appreciate everyone's patience. I really, really appreciate that. And, not being on and still being here when we do come back. You guys are the best. Really appreciate you all. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Go Trump! Trump 2024. Bye.
Go Trump.